အားလုံးပဲမင်္ဂလာပါကျွန်တော်နာမည်ကတော့ဆရာရှုပေါင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီဗီဒီယိုလေးကဒီ Alchemist နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဘာမှ meaningful ဖြစ်တဲ့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ရည်ရွယ်ချက်ကိုပေါ့နော်ရှာဖွေရဆိုစာအုပ်ပါအဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပြီးခဲ့တဲ့အပိုင်းမှာသူ့ရဲ့ချစ်ကြတဲ့ Fatima လေးကိုကောင်မလေးကိုသူကထားခဲ့ပြီးတော့ Alchemist ဖြစ်စေခြင်းနဲ့ treasure ကိုရှာဖို့အတွက်သူထွက်ခဲ့တယ် Okay. So let's get started. Let's go. So this is I think last chapter, last part of Alchemist. How to find your purpose. Let's get started. So as usual, I will go through and I will pause, explain, retell, right? Basically narrating.
You'll remember. Santiago is now with the Alchemist, right? He met the Alchemist, the Master Alchemist, at the Oasis. And the Master Alchemist is teaching him. And, mostly the Master Alchemist is guiding him, helping him get to the pyramids, right? They're already in Egypt, and they're getting close to the pyramids. Remember last week we talked about there was the attack on the Oasis. And Santiago, he had a vision, right? A dream about it. He knew it was coming. Kind of scary, but he told everybody what was happening. He saved everybody. He got a bunch of gold. But he also fell in love with the girl. And it was hard. He didn't know. Should he leave or should he stay, right? Should he stay in the Oasis? He already has gold. And he likes this girl. But finally, he decided, and the alchemist encouraged him to, no, you need to go and finish this journey you have started. This is an important journey. You need to finish it. Go all the way. You're almost there. Go. Keep going. So he leaves the girl behind, and the alchemist and Santiago go into the desert. So that's where we start today. Okay, so we start, and it says they crossed the desert for 2 more days. The alchemist, who's the guide, right? The master, the older man, the alchemist, he's the guide. He knows the desert. And it says he becomes very cautious. He's very, being very careful because, there's still a lot of fighting, remember, in the desert. There's different groups, different tribes, different groups are having a war and they're fighting each other. There's a lot of dangerous, violent men around the desert at this time. It's a dangerous time to be traveling. But they try to be careful. They're going. And as they go, they start to have a talk.
So, right, the alchemist, the Santiago, they're going on the journey to the pyramid. But on the journey, especially alchemist, he is very, very careful. And he is, right, alive to what's going on because there are some groups of attackers or whatever you want to call it. They're still fighting somewhere at the on I think where like on the journey to the along the way, basically, right? This is the idea. And as they go, right, they have a chat, they have a talk.
And the alchemist teaches Santiago a little more. Santiago's asking him questions and about, how do I find wisdom? How do I find, treasure? How do I become a better person? All of these kind of questions. And, the alchemist is telling him to follow his heart, right? Meaning, follow your deep intuition. You have to keep listening, and you got to keep listening. And that's important. It's a process of listening carefully to what's deep inside of you. And that's how you find your way. So the boy tries to do this. He keeps calling him the boy, but he's really a young man. Santiago, tries to listen to his heart. He starts, this is kind of meditation he's teaching him in a way. Listening to your heart means listening to your noticing, observing, looking at and observing, watching your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. That's what he's doing. This is a process of meditation. Okay. Then they have another discussion. And, they're talking about, to keep going. And the alchemist gives him a warning because, again, Santiago, he keeps thinking about, well, why keep going, right? This is kind of a big question for him now. Because really, Santiago, he achieved the material or the worldly or the outward goal. Right? He has everything he needs to be comfortable. He has a lot of gold he got in the oasis, so he has plenty of money now. He's rich. He has a girl that he loves, and the girl loves him. He has the oasis. He likes the oasis. He could stay there. So he really has no external, right, outside reasons anymore. He doesn't, remember the original idea, the original dream about the pyramids, it was because of a treasure, gold, money. But he doesn't need money now. So he's asking the alchemist these questions, kind of again, it keeps coming back. Well, why keep going? Why should I keep going now? I have all that stuff. And of course the alchemist is trying to help him realize that, your dream comes from, he calls it the soul of the world, the soul or the spirit of the world.
So while they're chatting, while they're talking to each other on the journey, Santiago the bull or Yan Man, he is asking so many questions about life, wisdom, intelligence, right? A lot of things. Then the alchemist, he said, well, you have to follow your heart, listen to your heart. What does it tell you, right? And then you follow it. We call that like intuition, which is like the part of us, right? That is telling us, right, what is wrong, what is right. We know it. Okay. And another thing is that what he's talking about is Santiago the Yan Man, he already achieved some material things, right? Things that he can touch physically, gold, money, girl, Fatima, for example. But he hasn't achieved, right, internal goal, internal purpose, right? That's what it is, guys. If you want to achieve in your life, people are too focused on external world and things that you have to focus, on the internal stuff, right? Very deeply, you have to listen to your heart and a lot of things, actually. Actually, if you are master of your internal, then external will be the result of internal. You have to remember this, okay?
Right? The spiritual world is what he's saying, right? And if you want to use a bigger word, you could say God, right? It's coming from something spiritual, something godly inside you or outside you. That's what that dream is about. And so it's obvious.
Now we can see that, right? The dream that he had was not about the treasure, like the physical pleasure, physical things, a material world. Not that. Actually, the treasure is within him, right?
Obviously not about money or just a girl, right? It's something deeper, so you can't stop. Even though you have money now, even though you have love and you have money, you have all the external things you need now, but you can't stop. And he says this is dangerous because many people stop just before they succeed. It's very tough. And the alchemist says every search begins with beginner's luck. And then every search ends, every big journey ends. At the end, the victor, right, the searcher, the person, is severely tested. It means you have a big test just before you achieve your purpose, your big goal or journey. It's bigger than a goal, really. Right? So he's saying all.
So a lot of people, right, they achieve like external things, right? Money, gold, success, fame, whatever you want to call it, but they usually don't achieve the internal inner peace, let's say that. Okay? Remember the word actually inner peace, right? You have to master your inner mind, and then other outer stuff, right? Outside things will be result of the inner peace. Actually, if you are very peaceful in your mind, you whatever happens, it doesn't affect you, right? And then you become a master of whatever you do.
Often at the beginning, you have good luck and everything seems easy. But at the end, just before you make it, it's the opposite. Often, just before the end, it's the toughest time. Okay, then Santiago, he remembers an idiom, a saying, an idiom, right, which is an idiom from English. Maybe they have it in Spanish too, I don't know. But it says, the darkest hour of the night is just before dawn. We say it's darkest just before dawn. Dawn is when the sun comes up. So it's darkest just before the sun comes up, sunrise. And what does that mean? Of course, it means that everything can seem the most scary, the most terrible, the worst, just before it gets better. Just before you have victory. Just before you win. Just before everything becomes much better. It seems terrible, terrible, terrible. So he's saying don't quit.
Really good, right? Before things get better, we have to face a lot of the darkness and very, very terrible situations before we get better, or before things get better, right? So the darkness before dawn, right? This is the idea. It's really good, actually. This is life, guys. This is what happens to us. But it's really difficult to think when bad things are happening to us. And, oh, right, this is a positive thing because there's a darkness, but before the light, right?
Now, don't quit when it seems so terrible because you're so close to success. Okay. Next, things get dangerous.
So on the journey, right, things are becoming dangerous.
They're only 2 days away, 2 days from the pyramids. Only 2 more days. They're almost there. So we're going to see just what the alchemist was saying. Now it's going to happen. Because what happens is what? There's some soldiers, some fighters. Capture them. Right? They're only 2 days away from the pyramids. Almost 2 more days. Finally, he makes it. He gets the treasure. But so close. And then what happens? Some army captures them, right? These guys grab them. They have swords. They're scary guys.
Swords. 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 So anyway, so they're basically 2 more days left to get to the pyramid. But some guys, they arrest Santiago and the alchemist. Right? The darkness.
And they think they're spies. It's like, you're spies. You're spying for the other group. And so these guys say, you're spies, right? And the alchemist, he's kind of smart, right? He's tricky. So the alchemist says, we're not spies. We're not spies. No, we're not. We're not spies. Of course, they're not spies. So he says, well, who are you? And he says, well, I'm just, a guide. I'm nobody. I'm just a guide. And then he says, well, but my friend, he's talking about Santiago, my friend is a great alchemist, right? So the alchemist says, he doesn't say he's an alchemist. The alchemist says, oh, this guy, Santiago, he's the alchemist. He's a great, powerful alchemist.
So some soldiers, the army, they arrest, right, Santiago and the alchemist, and they ask questions to them. Okay, who are you? You guys are, right, spy, right? You're spying for something else. And alchemist is intelligent. He says, well, I'm nobody, I'm just a guy. But Santiago, right? He is a great alchemist. Actually, alchemist is a alchemist, but he doesn't say that he is an alchemist, right? He points to the Santiago, and he says, well, he is a great alchemist. Okay, guys. So now the video takes 15 minutes here, so I'm gonna be doing a few parts for this last chapter, part 5. So keep listening, stay tuned. Bye for now.